So Kevin, what are we assembling today?
We are assembling a propeller for a Green Eagle.
Standard 4-blade Talon prop.
Standard 4-blade Talon prop. 4 blades each.
What tools do you need?
You're going to need at least 2 7/16 or 11 millimeter bolt wrenches or
Sockets.
ratchets set up. We're using geared ratchets and a 1/4 inch drill, because you're going to need a 1/4 inch drill to drill out your hub assembly holes because they're not big enough.
So do you just have to drill out the whole hole, or do you just have to drill out just a little shaving, like more or less clean them out?
You're just reaming them out because they're very close to a 1/4 inch as it is, but you're just putting a little bit of touch on it to make it clean.
So the bolts are real tight if you don't do that.
Correct. It'll be almost impossible to get them in. And in your kit that comes with that, you're going to have a small bag of bolts, washers, and nuts. And you're going to have your
Pitch blocks.
pitch blocks.
Should have 8 of them.
Love when a plan comes together.
You want to show them how to look at the pitch? So how you know the pitch is on the block? No, on the inside of the block. There's actually a pitch number on the inside. Nope. Or in that lip right there. There you go.
These are
13.
pitched at 13. And each one of them should say 13. And you want to make sure that Ashton didn't make a mistake.
Send you the wrong ones.
Now when you look at your prop, it's actually going to say the direction of your rotation. So that's going to be your outer edge. Which would make that your leading edge.
That's going to be facing the pallet then. The rounded side faces the back of the pallet's head, as if the pallet was sitting in the aircraft on a pusher. So when you walk up to the Green Eagle, you should see the flat side of the prop. Yeah, and there's just like an airplane wing, the arch of the prop is going to be heading in the same direction, which is to the left.
These blades spin
and if you see one of those blades, if you walk up to the Green Eagle and you see a rounded side facing you, then you got the props on backwards. And you'll wonder what happens to all your thrust, and it'll make a nice funny sound out the holes.
Clean out these holes, and there are 8 holes in each one to correspond with the 8 bolts you have. You want to get a good grip on it, and it's nothing more than running it through. Set it off to the side and start on the next one.
Now it looks like those hubs are omnidirectional, so you can use them on either side, right?
That is correct. These are both the exact same
part,
and they fit together like that once they're all assembled. So it doesn't matter which side you have towards the engine and which side is out away from the aircraft. It's best to work on a flat surface. We chose the floor because it was here, but if you had a table and you chose to
be
on your knees.
Easier on your knees.
As you can see, I've laid out all the nuts and bolts and washers on the floor here next to my work area. And what I'm going to do now is place the bolts through each of the individual holes. And as you can see, they go in nice and easy now.
So without drilling those, you'd be forcing those bolts through there, right?
What you were drilling out really is the metal insert. There's a small metal block that goes through there, and you can't see it, but it's in the center of both those plastic sides. And you really, that's why I have more metal shavings on the ground than I do plastic shavings, because you really weren't doing the plastic, you were doing the metal. And one more, and that should make 8. And then you want to just grasp it all and lay it down flat like that. Now you're going to put your pitch blocks in, and your pitch blocks go in like so.
Since your prop is going to be facing to the left, it's a good idea to get a blade out. And then the fat part of the blade, this part, will be facing the left. So, you do your first one like so, and you go all the way around.
Flat side up.
Okay, now we got all 4 blades and they're all angled at the same direction, like a windmill. Okay, now what do we do?
Now we have to put the other half of the pitch blocks on.
Kind of only one way they can go. There you go.
There's one way you can go, or you can force it on incorrectly.
With a hammer.
And as you can see, I was initially putting it on in the incorrect direction and it wouldn't go. Which led me to believe I was the one in the wrong, since somebody's been making these longer than I have. Alright, now you get the other half of your prop plate. Doesn't matter which way you put it on, as long as the holes line up. 8 more washers. And you drop those in place.
Nuts. These nuts are all nylock nuts. And what's important is you don't want to torque these more than about 6 to 8 foot-pounds. There's no real need for it. You just want them snug. And how you tighten them is you're going to tighten them just like you would a tire. You want to point out how to do that. You tighten one and then go all the way across the hub, and then tighten another one, and then, you know, and just snug them down. You don't have to tweak them. You don't have to tighten the very first nut and then go tighten the very second nut. Snug them all down.
So you're going to put them on finger tight just to get them all in place, so when you lift it up you don't lose them on the floor, because it's kind of hard to grab all of them at one time unless you've got really big hands. But what Ashton was speaking of is going not in a clockwise motion from one to the next, but going crosswise, as in starting here and doing this one next, then come over here and doing this one next, and then coming over here and doing that one next, and just going around until you have them all snugged down. So now, with that in mind, I'm going to lift her up so I can get to the other side.
Just snug one of them. Oops.
And once you get the wrench in the right place, so as you can see, I've got several tightened down at this point. And what you want to do is you want to go around and with your fingers and visually check to make sure that all your pitch blocks are flush, that nothing slipped out of place, that everything is aligned the way it needs to be, and everything looks like it's all right here. So I haven't made any mistakes at this point, so I'll continue to tighten them down. So here we are at Prop Assembly 101 with a completely assembled Talon 4-blade propeller, which is our trainer prop for the Green Eagle. As you can see, all 8 of the nylock bolts, or excuse me, nuts are in place. They've already been torqued down. That is basically what your final assembly will look like.
And the rounded side of the props, the flat side faces you and the rounded side faces the engine when you put it on the redrive.
So this is the inside, and you notice that my curved side are all
going to face the engine
on the same side, so that means I assembled all 4 blades in the correct direction. This is how it will sit. This will be the outer.
This is how you walk up
side
to it on the Green Eagle. You'll see it this way. Alright. That should help everybody to keep them from putting them upside down and backwards and you name it, right?
Well, if you do it the way we're going to instruct you to do it, you can't do it wrong.